This is Eye on Hong Kong with Key.
And this is Harminder, and we'll be discussing the top news for the week involving Hong Kong and China.
哇！直頭係頂腳喎，真係唔得，真係唔得，淨係可以要踎啦，踎都唔得啫，踎可以嘅，閂咗門咯，閂門，唔得，真係唔得，得。
And that, of course, is the state of our flats in Hong Kong. Because normally that's exactly what you're not only going to the bathroom in, but living in the city. Welcome to the 54th episode of Eye on Hong Kong. Well, that clip was very indicative of the new developments of all these luxury flats.
Obviously, the toilet, the bathroom was not for the master.
No, it's for the domestic helper that they will hire, for sure.
Where would they hire this domestic helper from? From the small world?
Yeah, from where the land of Oz.
Yes.
You get Oompa Loompa from there. And
the hobbits.
Yeah, the hobbits. And they'll be the new... I mean, come on. Isn't the developer, don't they have a heart? No.
Of course, no.
Yeah. I mean, let me give you an example. Just 10 years ago when we were just looking at new flats, one of the bedrooms was a triangle shape.
Why?
I don't
triangle?
know. Triangle. So the bed would go, on the side that's longest, right? And I lie down it's a model flat, right? So for potential buyers.
Right.
So I lie down. My feet touch the wall and my head touch the back of the wall.
Well, okay, to be fair, you're quite tall.
I'm 6'2".
Giant.
I'm not a giant. I'm only 6'2". Okay, that's like normal these days.
Yeah, not for Asian.
Still, come on, damn it, be normal.
I'm not that tall.
Not everybody is a hobbit.
Well, talking about
not that I'm saying Chinese people are hobbits. I'm just saying racist, and we'll get to that later. But yes. I'm just saying that. Come on, I think normal should be about 6'2" for everybody. So it doesn't matter if a Chinese person comes in, Indian person comes in, a hobbit comes in.
The length of the bed, but not the height, right? No,
right.
Everyone's 6'2" in Hong Kong, right?
But still, I think that should be the maximum. Okay, then why is the MTR height just enough for about a 6'3", 6'4" guy?
Because sometimes because they have to transport the refrigerator.
Good answer. And plus it was made during the Colonial era, so the Brits were like, well, we need it for us.
Yes.
Oh, great, we have to give this place back? Why didn't you tell us before? No. But even the new buses, the heights are better. Before
really?
The older ones, I had to always put my head down.
Oh, really?
And the one at top, same thing. But when I get to the bottom now, I can stand up without doing that. So I don't know, they're redesigning stuff. So see, I'm not the only one that thinks people are getting taller. Well, actually, there was a report out from the Chinese health ministry, that said that Chinese women and men are getting taller.
Well, okay, I'm the midget here. And but the thing is that looking at these flats is quite
ridiculous.
Ridiculous. And
that was for a 973 square foot flat.
That guy even cannot squat on the toilet.
Exactly. He couldn't close the door. He almost fell off.
So obviously, it's not for mainland Chinese because it squats.
They're getting taller. Okay. Well, they squat, but then it'd be on the floor of the toilet.
I don't
know. The floor type?
Yeah. Those in Japan, they still use it,
the squat ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, apparently they're better for your hygiene too, your bowel movements.
I just afraid that I take the wrong step and...
right through the toilet.
Exactly.
Or an alligator will come right through it. Anyways, speaking of toilets, we have the July 1st... I'm kidding. We had the July 1st march that came up this week.
Right.
And it was a very low turnout. 50,000, but 90% less than last year.
But it's also it's only the number claimed from the organizer.
Right. I mean, if you believe the number.
Yeah, but the police also said that...
20,000.
Yeah, 20,000.
Surveyors said 22, 24. So let's just say 25 to be in the middle, okay? 50 and there, so even 30. But still, very low.
Right.
Okay? Now, the thing is that I think it has more to do with protester fatigue. How many protests have happened since the umbrella movement itself?
Right.
If you count that as the first big one, and then all the subsequent ones after. And then you have people who didn't want to come out in 34-degree heat.
Yeah.
And then you have no clear direction of the protests.
Because the political reform was rejected.
Voted down.
Yeah, so I think people...
Good timing for the vote, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think people do need some rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
at least for a year.
It's understandable for that number.
That's why if anybody relaunched the umbrella movement or an Occupy event, I don't think they get the numbers they did the last time.
I don't think so too, because it's too tiring.
Yeah, exactly. So, that happened, but there were a couple of interesting things. One, the pro-China group was set up on Canal Street. So as they're passing by the July 1st marchers, they booed the hell out of them.
Right.
But nothing happened. No craziness, nothing. It was just, jeers and insults and let's move on.
Yeah. How many people were there?
For
this
pro-China
group?
I don't know, 100?
I don't think so. It's
99 were paid?
Only like 20 or something.
Yeah, I'm being liberal.
Okay.
With my numbers.
Okay. Yeah.
Just count how many lunch boxes were there. Right? So
I would love to take one.
Join the DAB. They'll take you on lots of lunchbox trips. So the July 1st march happened and nothing really came out of it. The same demands. Siwa Leung stepped down.
Right.
Some said amend the basic law. Article 45 specifically. Some call for Hong Kong independence. Some actually a localism group hijacked the front of it and took the front of the line.
Right, and then
very without permission or asking if it's okay with everybody else. Nice and totalitarian of them. But they're localists, so it's okay.
What do you mean by okay?
Because they can do no wrong.
Very true.
Yeah.
And but the thing is that every year the march is you can join anytime at any point.
Yes.
So they choose to join at the very beginning. So.
But still, I think it would be cool if you just ask the organizers, "Hey, is it okay if we went to the front, with our Hong Kong colonial flags?" That won't piss anybody off.
I think
it's funny. You want localism, but you want to be slaves again under the British. I don't get it.
Or because they don't think that they were slaves at that time.
But I can also understand the use of the colonial flag to piss off the PRC. So I get that part. They need to make that more clear if that's what they really mean by it.
Do they still feel pissed off seeing that flag?
Yeah.
Still?
Alan Leung was on my other show, right?
Right.
And Wang Guangya was talking to him, the mainland and Hong Kong affairs head. And he's like, we don't like seeing colonial flags and all that stuff. And Alan Leung's response was, well, why don't you ask why they're doing that? Why don't you ask yourself what the problem is to, have people come out with these flags, right?
But I think it's also about
so it is working.
First, I think it's a part of the history. Secondly, is that it's a freedom of expression.
Sure.
So
I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying it's it makes no sense. You're fighting for localism, which I'm sure means nativism, but at the same time, you say some of them are saying return to British rule.
But I think
I thought we don't want to be a colony of either.
I'm not quite sure about the meaning of the flag, the reason why they use that flag.
Yeah.
Because some of them actually argue like Australia, New Zealand, they also have this Union Jack on their flag.
Who just voted to get rid of it? Somebody just got voted to get rid of it, or there's a referendum.
But they didn't get rid of it.
No, they didn't. Okay.
But at the same time,
they're part of the, what do they call it? The Commonwealth.
Yeah, I think some people are also calling for Hong Kong to go back to Commonwealth as well, and also.
That's not going to happen.
But then when you talk about that, India also
they are in the Commonwealth.
Singapore also the Commonwealth.
Lots of history.
And
but they're their own independent nations.
True. Yeah. And then when you talk about the logo of that flag, actually it's the symbol of Hong Kong in a way, because it's the pearl.
I absolutely love the emblem. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the design of the emblem. It fits Hong Kong so well with the lion and the dragon.
And the blue. I like blue.
The lion and the dragon, okay?
And the pearl.
And the pearl, right? I think it's just perfect.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And what's the problem with people?
The rest of it,
flag?
the Union Jack on it.
But I mean, Australia, New Zealand, they all.
We
have
are not an independent nation.
What is that the things that they are asking for? That these people.
Some are.
Yeah, that's why they're using it.
Okay, so then come out and make that clear, because you can't say I'm a localist nativist, but at the same time saying I want to return to British rule, and some are saying I want independence, and some are just saying give us a higher degree of autonomy. It's very confusing. I don't know their set goals. I guess that's the problem.
I think they are 3 different groups here we are talking about.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, see, that makes sense to me.
Yes.
If we're not talking about one group.
Yeah. Some people actually take out the Union Jack thing, and then they have only the
emblem.
The emblem.
Okay.
And then some will say that, we would like to join back the Commonwealth. That's why they put the Union Jack there.
Okay, all right.
And that's why they have different kind of...
and one says hardcore, we want independence.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's why they have 3
so that
kind
makes
of
sense to me. I didn't know there was 3 different groups. I thought there was one group with different... Like, I want this, I want that, but they're one group. All right, makes sense.
Yeah,
Thank you for clarifying that.
I have no problem with all these people using.
No, I got no problem. It's their freedom of expression. They can do whatever they want. You know, I have no problem with that. It's just that when other people have their expression, they should not condemn the hell out of it, like you see online. You know, that's all.
But I have to say that here is that I like
BFFs.
I like Daisy Chan very much. I like Human Rights Frontier Daisy Chan very much. I think she's great.
I think she's kind of cute.
I think so too.
Yeah.
She has this Asian Chinese beauty.
I
can picture
pretty.
that she's wearing these old Chinese.
I like, no, but she's pretty. But she's also very smart. I saw her in an interview with on TVB, so I was impressed by what she said, and I also like Johnson Young. You know, he's also his viewpoints I can agree with. All right. Speaking of July 1st, scholarism was there, and of course the leader of scholarism is Joshua Wong, and the poor guy got pretty much jumped on the weekend with his girlfriend returning home from a movie in Tai Kok Choi. But again, you're walking in midnight, you know. It's kind of in Tai Kok Choi, well, it depends on where. If you're more in the Olympic side, you might be more safe. But anyways, he was walking down the street, and this couple suddenly attack him and his girlfriend. Right. And he sustained a few injuries. It looks like his glasses pushed into his nose, and he had some injuries near his eye, and went to a hospital to check that out. He'll be okay. He was actually at the July 1st march. But it's very scary that
I think so too. People
are being physically attacked just because they have a different viewpoint, and it's cowardice for jumping a guy instead of saying let's go one-on-one. And also, I think it's time again, like I've said before many times on the show, for all pro-democracy activists to take self-defense classes.
I think at least this incident proves one thing, is that he was not trained by the U.S. Army.
No, he wasn't. He's not. He's not secretly Colonel Guile from Street Fighter.
Exactly.
Right. So the thing is that I know if he fought back, he would probably be arrested by the police. But at least in the courts, I think the courts would be smart enough to say, self-defense. He was attacked first, and he had to defend himself and his girlfriend. So it's really time for people, because you never know when a Kevin Lau incident might happen again with knives.
True.
You must defend yourself. If you don't have the inclination yourself to fight back, because some people just naturally they think they'll be attacked, they will attack back, and there's just some people who don't want to, who will cower, go in a fetal position, and start rocking back and forth and call for mommy. That's not the way to fight back, because they'll just have their way with you. Learn self-defense.
And because the attack was quite a sudden attack, and then he couldn't really recognize the face of that guy.
When you have the training, it kicks in that you're being attacked and you have to do something about it.
Right. And then the only thing that he said about the attacker was that he thought that at that time when he was attacked, that guy was quite handsome. That's all.
Who was?
the one who attacked Joshua.
How do you know he's handsome?
Joshua said that.
That's what he said?
Yeah,
he's a good-looking guy or something?
He couldn't recognize the faces, but he's a handsome guy. That's what he said.
Interesting. Well, there's a compliment for your attacker.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just a little woozy still from after the attack. So yeah. All right. So China, on the same day of the July 1st rally, pass their national security. Some are saying law, some are saying framework, right? Because there's no law in it, really. It doesn't say you can't do this, and then these are your implications for it.
I thought we had one country, two systems.
Well, the thing is, it mentions Hong Kong. That's the controversy. But all it says is that Hong Kong must safeguard the PRC. I guess that means the entire country's, national sovereignty and national security and la 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 la, right? I think that's just a way of telling Hong Kong. But then it also mentions Macau. But I think it is really telling Hong Kong to pass Article 23 national security legislation.
Is it too skeptical to think about that? Because Macau already passed it. And the fact
you mean
that
naive? You're saying, am I being naive about it? Yeah. I'm just saying that might be one thing.
Right.
And another thing is that it could be the beginning of more encroachment. But again, we have our basic law. Annex 3 is the only place that national laws can apply to Hong Kong. And unless they amend Annex 3, they're not going to be able to apply those laws. But what if an activist from Hong Kong that has called for end to one-party rule or down with the PRC, and we have lots of people who advocate that, walk into the mainland, what would happen?
Well, of course, that would be arrested. I think they also mentioned that Li Chia-yen and Albert Chan,
Albert Ho,
then they will be arrested too.
Because they're part of that group of patriotic movements for that long name.
Isn't it true that we should focus back on Hong Kong and then don't say that, we promote democracy in China so that we will be safe to go back to China to do business?
But no, it makes it's the point is there, is it not? What about the businessmen who have pro-democracy media
in Hong Kong? In Hong Kong only in Hong Kong that they have
but
to
then
be specific.
When they go back into the mainland to do business, they could be arrested saying you've been promoting seditious thoughts or something.
No, I thought that they also want us to have genuine universal suffrage too. So is it democracy? They're also promoting democracy in Hong Kong.
Well, the only way we're going to get genuine universal suffrage is if we pass Article 23 first. Then they will amend the framework, in my opinion. But the Democrats want Article 45 passed first before we pass 23. So they're both asking for the same thing, but in two different ways.
I think it's because the mistrust of both sides.
Yeah.
So that's why if for me, I would say Article 45 first.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Me too.
Yeah, and it's quite reasonable for us to ask for 45 first.
Or if they can agree that Article 23 legislation is already there, but as our local laws, because about half of the stuff there is already on the books,
right,
as local laws.
Yes.
It's just the other stuff that's left. If we can start legislating the rest of it, but specific, narrow in scope, and it defines when it can be applied, then that's okay.
But the problem with the rest of it is that they're like the state secret.
Yeah, that's the one that I have no idea how they're going to define. Because from this new law from the PRC, everything's a state secret.
Yeah, we also look at the precedence cases as well.
Yeah.
When you look at the state secrets, basically
how it's been applied so far.
Everything
is a state secret. Yeah.
That against them, that would be
if tomorrow I report that there's mad cow disease in China and about 1,000 cows have just died, I could be arrested if I'm on the mainland for revealing a state secret. But it makes no sense.
Exactly. I mean, or you pick up a history, an old news about Senkaku Island that the Communist Party actually said that, okay, we give it to Japan. You pick up that old news and report it again. That would be the state secret as well, right? Because it's trying to separate the country, part of the land.
See, it's too ambiguous.
Yeah.
There needs to be more specifics in this law. But the Xi Jinping version of China is about ambiguity, to be able to have the power to arrest you in any way that they feel, if they feel that you're a threat to the one-party rule.
Yeah, I think this actually also have a very bad threat to our rule of law concept as well, because what we believe in is that the law should, set out all the framework, but not subject to any dictator or someone's own opinion about what is state secret and then apply it to us.
But it's too ambiguous. It's scary as hell. And I don't know what they're going to do. All right, 3 more stories. We've got 5 minutes, so let's rush through them. MTRC has come again and said we need more money for our express rail link to nowhere. Into China. And, they need another some odd billion to complete it. And they're delayed some more. And
why don't they stop it now?
And build a giant underground shopping center. I've heard that before, but come on, 70% complete. Might as well let them complete it. Show it being a failure, and then we can point fingers and laugh at them.
That's too much to pay.
I know. Damn it. But I don't know. The government said we're going to sue them and all this stuff, but I don't know what's really going to go on. It's over 85 billion now. The original estimate was somewhere in the 60s. This thing's getting out of hand. And really, we already have an express rail link, and it's not that far or takes a lot of time just to jump into Shenzhen to get on the next train. This is ridiculous.
I think it's more about the unity of the nation.
It's for this new Pearl River Delta area.
Yeah.
Hong Kong's significance is purposefully, in my opinion, being brought down so that it can be integrated into a Pearl River to say, to get Hong Kong back on its feet, we need to integrate more into the Pearl River area.
The polluted area, you mean?
With a bridge to nowhere as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to go on with this. Obviously, they're going to get the money one way or another, but I don't see the government. The government's sitting there going, we didn't expect this, we didn't expect that. But who's on the board of the MTRC? The freaking government. So a representative is always there. They know what's going on. They can't come out, Matthew Cheung, the transport secretary, and just come out and say, I don't know what's going on.
Maybe
I don't know why they want money.
Because they're sitting at their office streaming. Shame on you.
They're sitting under their office, streaming at the MTRC. Okay, move on. We have Jasper Tsang in another scandal. Hong Kong
How come
Free
so
Press,
many scandals about him these days?
Hong Kong Free Press, which debuted on Monday, congratulations, broke the news about this recording, and I'll quote this because it was in Cantonese, so I'll say it in English. This is what Jasper Tsang said. Should I say it in his voice?
We'll try.
I had lunch with a number of my schoolmates last Friday. One of them is a doctor. All right, and this is going to take too long. And he said,
very good.
And he said, I tell you how to get people off the street. This was during Occupy. There are many Africans staying in Chungking mansions. You go there, get a half dozen Africans, tell them, look, go there, go to Harcourt Road. You have beautiful tents there. You can go sleep there without paying any rent. Get 3 free meals a day. Get 3 meals every day free. Tell them to go there. Because at the time, the Ebola virus had just broken out at the same time in Africa. So
I think it's a good
intention.
joke, actually.
Okay, but still, and then when there was silence and nobody laughed, he said, "Just a joke," right? But still, it's kind of not in the standards of a LegCo president.
Exactly. I think the problem is that he's a legislative council president. If it's told by a comedian, I would be okay with that.
Probably, right? But he's not a comedian, number one.
Exactly.
And number two, when you're in a certain position in government, you have to be whiter than white, as they say, right? You have to be clean. You have to watch what you say, even in jest.
Yes.
Anything can be turned into a political scandal, like a WhatsApp message, right? So,
but it's okay. He won't resign.
He actually was voted down. He won't resign, and the motion for a no confidence vote was rejected. Couldn't get to our other story, but we'll be back in the second half with James Bang, who was actually in the middle of protests with localists versus pro-Beijing thugs. We'll be back after this.